Okay, so Dallas Goedert just shared more reasons why he decided to stay in Philly. Meanwhile, we just got some NFL breaking news. JaireAlexander just signed with a juggernaut. What's it mean for Philly? So much to break down, including Zack Baun playing two positions. Plus, Lane Johnson just said something that got everybody talking. And Pro Football Focus picks the Eagles' make or break player for the 2025 season. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with our Philadelphia Eagles, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So, of course, we all know that Dallas Goedert reworked his deal this year to stay with the Eagles to run it back in 2025, which low-key was one of the most underrated moves of the offseason because of the dynamic that Dallas Goedert brings to this offense, not just in the passing game, but also in the running game. However, earlier today, Olivia Reiner gave us some insight on why Dallas Goedert decided to stay for less money. He said Jalen Hurts reached out during the contract talk and made him feel like an important part of the team. His words exactly. He continued to say, and I quote, "Playing with a quarterback that you're comfortable with also was important to me. Someone that values you just makes that even better." Now, granted, Dallas Goedert did tell us all during his press conference that Jalen Hurts reached out. But what we didn't know is how he made him feel, and also that Jalen Hurts was part of the reason he stayed in Philly. We can talk about the injuries during the regular season and or games where Dallas Goedert gets lost in the sauce due to the fact that the Eagles got Jalen Hurts' legs, Saquon Barkley as the Russian champ, A.J. Brown, who's always open, and the Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith. However, when Dallas Goedert came back and was healthy throughout the entirety of the playoffs, who led the Eagles in receiving? Not A.J. Brown, not Devontae Smith, it was Dallas Goedert. So, of course, I'm glad that Dallas Goedert is back, but I've been told y'all that. It just goes to show every day we find out more and more why Jalen Hurts is a very, very important part of all the Eagles' success. Oh, by the way, for everybody who claims Jalen Hurts is a tush-push merchant, most quarterback rushes in the last 5 seasons, and Jalen Hurts ranks second. Moving on to some breaking news out of the NFL as it pertains to JaireAlexander. He just signed a 1-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens, and the details are out about the deal. Adam Schefter tweeted, "The deal broken down. It's a 1-year, $4 million deal with JaireAlexander having the ability to earn $2 million more in incentives, $6 million max value." It also was reported that JaireAlexander had better offers, but he wanted to play with the Ravens because he played with Lamar Jackson in college. With that being said, we don't know if the Eagles were involved in this trade at all. Maybe we called and he just wanted to go to Baltimore, or maybe we didn't call. If we didn't call, though, that is Howie Roseman, but more importantly, Vic Fangio saying we are okay with the corners on his team. We believe in Keely Ringo, and we like Adoree Jackson as a backup if needed. How can we say we trust Vic Fangio on this, that, and the third, but not with cornerback 2? Let me know how y'all feel. Still, though, that is a crazy deal that the Ravens signed him for, and the incentives are probably what I talked about. He don't get them if he don't play a certain amount of snaps. It's an injury clause. With that being said, great deal for the Ravens. We don't see him into the Super Bowl if they can make it because the Eagles are making it. But that secondary is crazy. Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton as the safeties. Then you got Marlon Humphrey in the slot, JaireAlexander on one side, and of course, the second-year man out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins, with Awuzie on the bench. Switching gears to the great Allen Iverson's birthday party, guess who pulled up? Former Eagle wide receiver T.O. and current Eagle wide receiver A.J. Brown, showing love to AI on his 50th birthday. So Zack Baun recently said this about possibly having more responsibility. If Vic wants to give me more responsibility, I can play more at edge. Throughout my career, I learned to never be satisfied with where I'm at. Before my breakout year, you could have said I made it in the NFL. In my head, I still have stuff to prove, and that's definitely still the case now. Remember, a story came out during minicamp that Zack Baun asked Vic Fangio last year to be more at the edge. Fangio said, no, you the linebacker. He left it alone because he saw the edge rushers prospering in the Eagles training camp, mini camp last year, and it all paid off. This year, he's still willing to accept responsibility even on the edge. Again, I don't think Vic Fangio will let him do it unless we need help at the edge, which I doubt. However, utilizing Zack Baun in some blitz packages wouldn't be that bad due to the fact that we know he can rush the passer, and he had 3.5 sacks last year in a limited blitz capacity. All I know is that when this linebacker core is healthy, you're going to be able to do so many things with the versatility of Zack Baun and Jahad Campbell, and Nakobe Dean is your true linebacker. But he can blitz. He had a couple sacks too, and we saw what he did in Georgia at blitzing. One thing Fangio loves is a player with versatility. You can disguise it better on defense, and you just never know what the responsibilities might be on a game-to-game, even play-to-play scenario. Switching over to Lane Johnson, who had this to say recently. Eagles tackle Lane Johnson says that at 35 years old, he believes he's still in his prime. His exact words were, and I quote, "I feel like I'm getting close to maybe my peak." As weird as it is to say, but that's truly how I feel. Interesting, we did see BG age like fine wine. Lane's a little different. When he got drafted, he never let us down. Year after year, paved the lane, came through. But I do see him getting better in his older age. He's more wiser, still quick, still athletic, and one of the toughest tackles in the game. There's a reason he decided not to take it year by year, but to sign a 2-year extension because he's feeling the best he's felt in a long time. And age is nothing but a number, especially at certain positions in the NFL with modern medicine and not two-a-days practices and all that extra stuff that they used to go through before the CBA changed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section as it pertains to Lane Johnson's comments. Could this be one of his best seasons ever? Mind you, the NFL did add a award to the best protector NFL offensive lineman. That could be pushing him as well. Lastly, Pro Football Focus Dalton Wiseman highlighted a make-or-break candidate for each team and had Smith for the Eagles. We're talking about Nolan Smith. They continue to say, another guy who broke out in 2024 was linebacker Nolan Smith. He played 16 games in the regular season, including 10 starts, and racked up 6.5 sacks, 42 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 11 quarterback hits. That's a pretty big year, and now he's in line for a bigger role in 2025. Now, you might be thinking, it sounds like the dude thought Nolan Smith was good last year. He did. Well, why is it a make-or-break year? He continued to talk about all the veterans that the Eagles lost and how Nolan Smith is not going to be able to be a role player, but has to be a star at the pass rusher position, in which he did say he believes he got the talent to do it, but that's why he thinks it's a make-or-break season for Nolan Smith. He also mentioned the emergence of Jalen Hunt, which Eagle fans all see coming, and Joshua Uche, Azeez Ojulari as capable rotation pieces. Nobody mentions, except for my comment section, Antoine Powell Ryland, who I think is going to turn heads during training camp and could find himself in a rotation. Remember, the production he had in college, 16 sacks in one season, you can't make that up. I know he has short arms and this, that, and the third. This is why he fell to the 5th or 6th round. But I do think he's going to show up a little bit in training camp, and I can't wait to see. With that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and it's the Philly Talk Podcast. Click the link in the description and or the pinned comment section if you're older than 21 and want to try Indacloud. Also, drop the muscle emoji, leave a comment, hit the like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the videos, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out.